I guess no one wants me to write today. At least, not what I want to write. Did you finish the chapter? She asks as soon as I answer, skipping any sort of greeting, as usual. I've known Caroline Tibayan since we were 6, the only 2 brown girls in Miss Brentwood's first-grade class. When Jessie Fitzgerald told me I was ugly because I had skin the color of poo, Caroline hauled off and socked him in the nose. Lola, her grandmother, swatted her behind with one of her sandals when she got home that day, but Caroline still maintains that it was worth it. We've been best friends ever since. Monitoring my internet activity? Really? That's like something out of a Lifetime movie. I laugh. Also, hi. That's usually how people start a conversation. Okay, yeah, hi, but can you blame me? You left off on such a cliffhanger and then nothing for days? You're a monster. And you're dramatic. Me? Dramatic? I can almost see her through the phone, crowded on her tiny twin bed in her tiny room. Her long black hair splayed over the striped comforter. Lola took the second bedroom when she moved in with Caroline and her parents, so they converted the pantry into a space for Caroline. You're the one who ended the chapter with Jasper standing outside Colette's window, professing his undying love, his purple hair freaking illuminated in the soft glow of the street lamp, totally unaware of the fact that Colette is macking on Jack in there at that very moment. Come on, I need to know what happens now. Sorry, I've been busy. With Tallulah? Yep. Tallulah's the main character in my other work in progress. A swoony story about a mousy black girl with a fluffy fro, and Thomas, the hipster singer-songwriter with moody eyes and dark hair and deliciously broad shoulders, who moves to town and makes her his muse. Well, send me that one at least, she sighs, as if it's a consolation prize. And have they finally kissed yet? All the pining and googly eyes are getting to be a bit much. I need some action. They're barely on base 0.5. Not going to lie, Colette is so much more interesting. I smile and shake my head. I can't help where the inspiration takes me, Colette. Your audience is waiting, Tallulah. By my audience, she means herself. She's my biggest fan. And my only fan. But I'm not complaining because that's just the way I like it. I don't write for other people. I write for me and Caroline. The stories have always come easy to me. My mom said I started writing stories down as early as kindergarten. But I was secretive even then, keeping whatever notebook I was working in safe under my pillow. The subject matter changed as I got older, the what-ifs transferring to what would happen if Harry ended up with Hermione instead? And then, what would happen if Harry ended up with me? I felt embarrassed about the stories, but they also made me feel warm inside and seen. It was empowering to create a world in which I was the center, the prize, the one desired. Caroline talked her way into reading through one of my notebooks eventually. I expected her to laugh. But instead, she praised me as a romantic genius and asked me to write her into a story too. She always had a thing for Ron. And she told me there was a word for what I was doing. Fan fiction. That made me feel less embarrassed about my stories. At least I wasn't crazy or something. Other people were doing this too. Soon, I graduated from Harry and Ron to Edward and Jacob to members of our favorite boy band, Dream Zone. Because, okay, Miles likes Dream Zone because I liked Dream Zone. A long, long time ago. But I try to keep that shameful secret on the down low. I kept thinking the stories were something we would outgrow, like Dream Zone. But they never stopped. They just became about our relationships with my own made-up boys instead of someone else's. Like fan fiction of our own lives. It wasn't like we could go to a bookstore and find many fluffy love stories with girls who looked like us in them. Now that I've moved, I share my stories with Caroline through Google instead of passing her my beat-up laptop at lunch.